Hey everybody, how y'all doing out there? My name is Tim Edwards. I'm coming to you with another podcast. This podcast was actually out of the blue. I've been wrote this podcast down with the title of this podcast probably about a few weeks ago. And then I was just speaking with the Lord today, and He gave me a teaching that's absolutely amazing. Everything he gives me is amazing, but this particular subject here, we're just going to dig in for the next 15 minutes and talk about the serpent wisdom, the serpent's wisdom. And I'm going to be coming out of Matthew, the 10th chapter, 16th verse. Matthew 10, 16. And this is what got me here. I've been just pondering, just thinking, man, just on God, and how does God's people, how do we gain leverage in this in this evil world? How do we gain leverage? And y'all, I got a new setup right here. I'm just trying this out. I got me a pop filter today for my mic. So I'm just trying it out to see where the audio is going to take me and see what God is going to do with that. But I'm going back to the other original setup. So you don't see my mouth or nothing. You just see the glasses, the eyes and all that. Y'all get the point. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like I'm in recording mode. So I'm just going to take it from here and just see what God want to do with it. Like I said, it was just something out of the blue, just a podcast he put on my heart to do. Maybe this going to reach some people, and we're going to get some better understanding on how to operate like a servant. I'm not a servant, a serpent. But we're going to talk about how being a servant and a serpent, how God don't want us. He wants to take on the wisdom of a serpent, but he wants us to be a servant, and he wants us to operate in love. Meaning we should be harmless as a dove. That means you don't look to retaliate. You don't look to get back at nobody. You don't look for revenge. You are operating as the wisdom of a serpent. So what is the wisdom of a serpent? Why is God saying, be wise as a serpent or be harmless as a dove? Be wise as a serpent and be harmless as a dove. But if you notice, a serpent is very, very wise. So today, I was just praying, and I was just wondering, I was like asking God, and that's what's so amazing about this is that everybody, you guys can build a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, man. It's amazing when you build that personal one-on-one relationship with him to where you can talk to him like this. You can talk to him like he's your best friend. You could talk to him like he's your father, because he is your father. You could talk to him like he's a business partner, because he is your business partner. You could talk to him like a significant other, because he's your significant other. You know what I'm saying? Jesus plays all these roles in our life, and he just looked for us to come to him in truth and honesty and be like, God, okay, ask him questions. He say he want us to ask him questions. So that's what I'm doing. So today, earlier, I was like, God, man, why is the wicked, seem like they're getting ahead, and I know it's all a deception of the enemy, but where do they get this wisdom and this power from? Why is the wicked some kind of way getting their hands on resources, positions, power? They have land, and they're not serving you. How is this possible? And then you tell us here in Matthew 10:16 to be wise as a serpent. Why you want us to be wise as a serpent? Why do you want us to take on the wisdom of a serpent? First of all, why is you even giving wisdom to a serpent in the first place? But he tell us to be wise as a serpent, but be harmless as a dove. So the Bible says that the serpent is wise. You see how the serpent moves, how he sneaks up. He used wisdom to sneak up on his prey. And you in the animal kingdom, you can see how a serpent, a snake, is able to get in, to use wisdom to slither his way in and go after his prey, to bite his prey when the prey is doing something else, maybe, whatever the prey is doing. And the serpent just comes in, boom, just attacks the prey, and it's over with. Shoot venom into him, it's over with, So that's what this is. God said, I want you guys to operate. I want you to be wise like a serpent. I want you to be alert. I want you to be aware of your surroundings. Tomorrow is election day, the U.S. presidential election day. And, in a situation like this here, you need wisdom. You need wisdom from God. You want God's wisdom on who is the best candidate. To be honest with you, I don't feel neither one of them are qualified to be the president of the United States. I really don't. I don't see it at all. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm still kind of undecided on who I really don't want now one of them. I really don't. I don't think Joe Biden is a fit at all, and I definitely don't think Donald Trump is a fit to be the president of anything. I just don't see it. I just see these men as being unfit to lead people, and I just see they mean well. I mean, even with Trump, I see that Trump, he means well. Joe Biden, he means well. They mean well, but that doesn't mean that they're fit though. Just because somebody's, they mean well and they seem to be all right, it still mean they not. I don't think they're meant to be the commander-in-chief of a country. I don't believe that. And so that's what got me today when I was talking to Jesus, like, how is this even happening, Father? How do the wicked get in power and position that don't belong to them? And why do you tell us to take the position of a serpent, or to be wise as a serpent and be harmless as a dove? So what you want us to do? You want us to operate like an evil serpent and sneak up on people and snap at them and come, and use wisdom? No, he's saying that I want you to take the wisdom of a serpent as far as being alert. Be alert of your surroundings. I want you to be able to see. I want you to be able to pay attention. When I show you something, I want you to be able to catch that. If I reveal something to you, I want you to be able to understand what I'm doing. Okay, for example, a church friend of mine, she reached out to me out of the blue yesterday. Yesterday, I get this back-to-back text messages and calls from this person. And immediately, okay, first the way the calls was coming in the text message, it seemed like something was wrong. And I kind of ignored the phone call at first. I'm like, I'm not gonna pick it up, But immediately I knew nothing wasn't gonna be wrong with this person, because I was already praying for this person and their family and their loved ones and their friends. So I go in deep in prayer. I pray for the people that's watching this podcast. I pray for my subscribers that I have. I pray for my future subscribers. So I go in hard in prayer. So I knew it wasn't going to be any bad news. I just basically ignored the call because I didn't really, I wasn't really in the mood. It was early in the morning. I just didn't feel like answering the phone, to be honest with you. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. I went on and picked the phone up because I knew that I didn't want to miss the opportunity that God was maybe sending to me through this person. I didn't want to miss it. So even though she was just calling me to ask me about certain things at the church, or like church service, what time it started, because everybody online now going to church online. So, but the fact that she called me to ask me, like, Tim, when is the church going to start? Because I wish we could go there physically, but I'm not able to go, and nobody's really able to go. But I want to know what time it starts so I could be on time with yesterday's service. But the point I'm trying to make is this. This is what I told her. I said, you know what? When you call me, when you text me, that means God is doing something in my life. That means he's turning some things around. See, that's the wisdom of God. Be able to know, people, I haven't heard from this person in months. And then all of a sudden she reaches out of the blue. I mean, I know it had to be something supernatural with that. But the point I'm trying to make is the supernatural wisdom of God. See, that's being wise as a serpent. That's being alert, looking at it from both ends. Could have been hitting me up on an attack, but the wisdom of God let me know that I can take this. And this was shocked her when I said this. I said, you're reaching out to me. You probably don't know why you're reaching out to me. Well, you're reaching out to me because you just asking me about church service. But what I do is I take what you're reaching out to me about, I give it to God, and we turn it into a masterpiece. And she was stunned, like on the phone. She couldn't say nothing. Like, okay, this guy took a normal phone call and turned it into gold. Yeah, I know. That's what I do. I give, when people reach out to me that I haven't heard from in a long time, I'm not just looking up in the sky like, why is this person calling me? I look at it as an opportunity, okay? Why is she calling me? What made her think of me to where she like, okay, let me call Tim to just ask some information and see what's up. I mean, I take that and I automatically start rejoicing. And I thank God for her reaching out to me, even though she was just reaching out to me, getting, just wanting some church instructions. I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and use that to fuel something else I'm believing God for. Okay, God, if you use her to reach out to me, how about you reach out to that billionaire and have him reach out to me? And if you use her and she's being a female reaching out to me, won't you reach out? Won't you move on the wife of my future wife, move on the heart of my future wife and have her to recognize me and call me just like she did? So, I mean, why not use that energy? Why not use that wisdom right there? You know what I'm saying? Even though she just wanted some regular church instructions, I'm going to turn them church instructions into $1 billion check. I'm going to turn them church instructions into a marriage ring. I'm going to turn them church instructions into a Bentley outside. I'm going to turn the church instructions into me working at the church with my bishop. I'm going to turn it into a destiny call. I'm going to turn it into whatever I want to turn it into. So I'm going to be wise as a serpent. I'm going to be harmless as a dove. I'm not trying to use nobody, but I'm going to take whatever they think they got. I'm going to use it as collateral, as seed to give to Jesus, and we're going to turn it into an inheritance. That's a whole nother thing. But I'm going to get on this podcast and hit you up on some other stuff that God is dealing with me with. But let me go ahead and read this real quick. I be getting so overhyped. Sometimes I be wanting to go over 15 minutes, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I believe these short and sweet messages are more powerful anyway. People, attention span is not all that, so I want to make sure I get in and get out. That's just a whole nother thing. So this is what Matthew 10:16 says, okay? It says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves." Be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So that's what God is telling us to do. So it's pretty self-explanatory. He want us to be wise as serpents, but he don't want us to snap like a serpent do and bite people and shoot venom inside of them and kill them. He want us to be harmless as a dove, So that's what he's basically telling us. And I want to say this here before I get off this podcast. Man, Jesus gave me an amazing teaching today about the power of the fig tree. You remember how Jesus was hungry and he got to the fig tree and he noticed he saw the fig tree afar off and he got up to the fig tree and didn't have any figs on it. Man, Jesus just blown me away with that. He was like, see, Tim, I've given you power over the fig tree. I've given you power to speak for figs on things that are dried up. In other words, it's supposed to obey you. I've given you authority. You ought to be able to speak things into existence and it should produce. And if it don't produce, I give you commandments. I give you the authority to curse it. So he cursed the fig tree because it's supposed to produce, especially when the Messiah is in proximity of the fig tree. So the fig tree thought he was going to get away by saying, Jesus, I ain't going to produce no figs. Jesus said, okay, you better produce figs for the Son of God. If not, I'm going to curse you. And that's what he did. So that's what happened. But anyway, hey, I just want to thank y'all for tuning into another podcast. I wanted to go into it deeper, but this is the Serpents Wisdom Podcast. I love you guys. Stay tuned to the next podcast, Wealth Transfer Fridays and Prayer 911 Wednesdays. You guys take care.